I was sitting here watching Power Rangers Zeo, and I was watching the episode King for a Day. Great episode. Probably one of the most best episodes out of Zeo. But as I was sitting here watching Power Rangers Zeo, when they turned Tommy Oliver bad, and I'm listening to it right now. I'm actually watching it right now. Let me turn it down a little bit, just to see if you guys can hear me. Anyway, I know Power Rangers Megaforce is just set in stone. I know it is. I know it's already been written. I know they already have everything planned out for Super Mega Force or Mega Force, but they couldn't do it in Mega Force because uh, you know how it was so short, and they kind of just jumped to the Pirates, which I believe that should had waited until maybe next year. It should have had a good build up, Well, I'm not really worried about the build up and stuff like that. Well, how should I say this? They did a good job with Megaforce. I don't have no problem with Megaforce. I think they should have added, like, instead of 20 episodes, should have been 32 episodes. Just to add a little bit more flavor to it, just to add a little bit more backstory to it. Kind of just make it more balanced. Than just 20 episodes and just jumping from their costumes they started with to the other pirate costumes from Gokaiger. But anyway, yeah, and I hear a lot of people talking about how Troy is so bad as a Red Ranger. He is not really a bad Power Ranger. I don't think the Red Ranger needed to overdo it. Jason didn't overdo it. He might have was with the team. Actually, Jason was more with the team in Zeo instead of Mighty Morphin. People actually realized that he talked less. He was more of that instructor and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But in Zeo, he was more with the team because he didn't have to worry too much about uh, being the leader. But in Zeo, he took on leader roles, here and there. But especially when Tommy turned bad. But anyway, back to Troy. Troy should have turned. Well, how much should I say this? I think this is what should have happened in Megaforce. And this is why I say 32 episodes would have been perfect instead of just 20. Because they have a little bit more to actually to work with. Because, well, technically, Megaforce and Super Megaforce is the same show. It's 40 episodes equal. But they kind of did it like, this is what the way I would have done it. Have Megaforce, 32 episodes. And then that would have been the same length as with Disney, how many episodes Disney produced. That would have did 32 for Megaforce and 32 for Super Megaforce. You see what I'm saying? So that would have gave, what, 64 episodes total. But anyway, it's like, man, I don't know. They should have really had turned Troy bad, because actually, Robo Knight turned bad. Actually, if you didn't watch the Ghost Sager Sentai version, Ghost Sager, Ghost Sager, Ghost Knight turned bad, and he turned on the Power Rangers, whatnot. They kind of should have flipped it, maybe. They maybe should have just flipped it. They should have had Troy be bad, getting controlled by Rock or somebody. Or what was his name in Sentai? Robogag. I don't know if anybody don't know Robogag. That was the guy you saw in Endgame and Messenger. And but anyway, Troy should have turned bad. It would have really boosted up his popularity. People would have got off his back. You know what I'm saying? And they should have made it more of a 3-part instead of just a 2-part, or just a 1 episode, 2 episodes. It should have been a 3-part or a 4-part. Just to kind of just give 20. It should be an episode 20, 21, 22, 23. So that would give 4 parts. 20, hang on, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, 4 parts, 3 to 4 parts, whatever. And they could have just went on from there, and then just kind of hammered him in and really made him a really solid Red Ranger. I understand that he's not Tommy, and there's not going to be another Tommy, and I'm not looking for another Tommy. But speaking of Tommy, of course he turned bad so many times is because well, he didn't turn bad so many times. Let me take that back. Why he kept getting captured so many times, I don't know if people realize, but Rita actually chose him to be the Green Ranger. Zordon accepted him in the Power Rangers group, and then and in Zeo he got captured again, and by what was his name? King Mondo's son, the older son, and Tommy got captured again by Divatox. So And then he also got caught again in Dino Thunder by Mesothelioma. So I don't know if anybody noticed that Tommy's always getting captured no matter what. And if he is coming back in Super Dino Charge, I hope he don't get captured again if he does come back. Well, Dino Charge, Super Dino Charge, because I think Super Dino Charge he might come back because that's when they come and bring up maybe other Rangers in there. But we have to wait and see. I'm not bashing Saban or anything like that because he's not really doing too much. He's not really too much in control of it that I know of. But um, yeah, I'm not really talking about Saban. I'm really focused on the writers. The writers should have thought of somebody should have thought of, hey, let's turn Troy bad. I think it would have boosted up his popularity. Um, or because it's always been we always seen the Blue Ranger bad. And some of the older episodes, and we probably seen the Green Ranger. One of the guys who was part of the team bad, the blue and green part of the team bad. We never see the females too much being. Well, I think it was one time we seen a female character bad. I'm not for sure. I gotta go read. Thank God for Netflix. I gotta go back and check that out because I think the Pink Ranger did turn bad. I can't remember who it was, but somebody remembers. Let me know. Oh yeah, Andros. I compared Troy more to Andros because Andros wasn't really like talkative. He really was not. He was more doing his own thing. And Troy, if you want to compare somebody, Troy and Andros probably be the closest. I'm not gonna say they're spitting images of each other, but I'm just saying Andros is very close to Troy, or Troy is very close to Andros. He's not over the top, just a laid back, Red Ranger. He having these dreams. I think I talked about this before. He's having these dreams. He's trying to figure out what they mean, and of course, he's gonna be kind of laid back and not really talking too much. Especially if you saving the world, you have more time to talk later when the world is saved. But right now, we have to save the world. But anyway, yeah, that's just something I wanted to say. Troy Burrow should have turned bad. It should have been 3-4 part. Um, and who should he fight? He should have fought. So because the Silver Ranger that wouldn't have came until Super Mega Force, so he could have fought the Rangers. Gosei Knight. Gosei Knight could have been the leader for 4 parts, like the strict leader for because he is technically that leader. And I guess somehow they could have did something similar to how they captured Tommy and Power Ranger Zeo, the episode, Where is Zeo Ranger 5? That episode, if anybody remembers that. Well, where in the world is Zeo Ranger 5? They could have done something. Maybe they could have thrown some toxic on them. Because I like how they did, like the atmosphere of it was. Like, it should have been more toxic. Like, in I think it was the Yuma Beast arc in Gosei. They had more of a toxic type of feeling and a toxic atmosphere environment, not atmosphere environment. And I know the War Star. I hope I'm not fudging this up. Uh, the War Star was the aliens, which you saw from the first part of Megaforce. And what else I'm trying to think of? It was Yuma Beast. It actually was the War Star, if I'm not messing that up. I think that wasn't their official name. I couldn't think of it. And it was the Yuma Beasts, and it was Robogag Empire. And then I'm speaking for the Gosei, the Gosagers, Sentai. What else? And they had Vrock when he returned. I can't think of his actual Sentai name, but I know it was kind of like the return of the Messiah, which was actually the best episode, the last episodes of Ghost Sagers. That was cool. Oh man, they nearly lost. Like, that's how close it was. Like the return of the Messiah. If you didn't see Ghost Sagers, just if you don't even know what it's about, just check them episodes out. You'll be like, oh my god, this is awesome. That last arc of Ghost Sagers was just kick butt. They almost lost. Like, they literally lost their powers, and they had to find a way to take down not the messenger, the Messiah. And I guess that was the whole point of the messenger. They just changed the name. I think that was the Messiah episode, and they just kind of changed the name. But like I said, Megaforce, I don't think that's the strongest Power Rangers out there. Like, when it really captured people's attention. But I do got to say, people like to tune in. I like to still tune into it, and believe maybe that could be the first Power Rangers in history that actually can have a. Well, I'm not gonna say the first Power Rangers in history because they came out with comic books and mangas for. But I think DC or Marvel or what other comic company out there can actually try to fill in the blanks of what the show did not, cover. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they can just do it in the comic book series, but nothing beats when Troy turns bad. Nothing beats the actual live action. I'm sorry, you can't draw it and go, oh, that's not really gonna mold it into it. Mold the fans into believing in Troy. They should have just done it in a live action. And if they didn't, let me what I'm trying to say. If they didn't go too far with it, and then Troy turning bad. Maybe they should have came up with a comic book series to kind of fill people in. I do believe that. I know that Power Rangers Megaforce do have comic books out there. I checked on Amazon. If you check on Amazon and type in Megaforce and books in Amazon, you actually get to see um they actually came up with 4 or 5 different comic books, and I think they should come out with more actually, and I will be a big buyer of it, because I just like Power Rangers and I'm a supporter of it no matter what. I just hopefully that it sticks around for another 20 years, maybe longer. This is what I want to talk about. I actually seen this new Power Rangers yesterday on YouTube, and I'm gonna give you the name for it. You can check it out. It's a Chinese Power Rangers. This is something. It's called Jushin Zanji Dewey. I think I'm saying it right, or I think I'm saying it right. But I'll put the name in the video so you can go search it up. It's pretty cool actually. It's not over the top like Sentai. It's actually very calm. It's not like Sentai because it was episode 1, so things can change, from there on. But I think you can watch it on if you just type it in Google. They got it on I can't think of Let TV. I think that was the name of it, and you can watch it. It's called Tokupedia. Oh, if you want to go to Tokupedia, put that in not in the description, but look. You just see the title right here. I'm just gonna give you the title right here. Here, I present it to you. There we go. But anyway, yeah, it's. Oh my God, where should I start? I love the outfits. The outfits is banging, dude. I really love it. I really love it. It's red, green, and navy blue. They're very, mellowed out, and they started out with a machine battle, a mecha battle, Megazord, if you want to say. But I don't want to ruin it for you. Go check it out, and go check it out. It's very cool, and it's so like old Sentai. It's so old Sentai. It's very just. I don't know what to say. I actually can give this actually an 8 out of 10. I'm not gonna give it too high because I didn't see everything. I just gave that episode an 8 out of 10. It was very cool. Go check it out. I know some people didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. That's why I don't really I don't bash shows too much because everybody has different opinions, and I love controversy. Don't get me wrong, but however, I just don't. If you didn't see it, and a lot of people don't see everything that I see, or I don't see everything you see, so it's hard for me. Why I say that is because a lot of people say this movie sucked, and you look at this movie and it was great, and somebody might say this movie was awesome, and you see it, it's like that wasn't cool. Like they do a lot of movies like that. Like I remember was it the second Transformers? Everybody said, "Oh, that sucked. That sucked." Everybody said that sucked. When I saw it, it was great. It was very cool. It was very eye catching. It was kind of catchy. It was not kind of catchy. It was very catchy. What else I want to talk about? Somebody that talks about, oh, this movie that sucks, and I think I already said that. Oh, a movie is good, and turn around, a movie sucked. So I don't really I don't really get into that. I really, 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 really don't get into that. But anyway, yeah, go check it out. I might put a link I'm gonna put a link in the description, so you just shoot right there. You just type it. Matter of fact, you just type it in yourself. You can remember it that way. I think it'd be a bit better for your memory. Say if you keep typing it in over and over and over again, you might. If you like it, you can keep looking for it or whatnot. But yeah, it's right there. But anyway, Megaforce. I think it was. I think it was too short. I really do. 20 episodes wasn't cut. I'm sorry. They missed because Megaforce should have been a solid foundation. I'm not worried about the legendary battle, to be honest with you. The legendary battle and Super Mega Force, not worried about it. Because if Power Rangers is not coming to an end and hence why there was a legendary battle in Space, because In Space was supposed to be the last Power Rangers, but they chose to bring the Ginger Rangers to America, which is Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. And it's like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I got two pencils in my hand. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about if the legendary battle is great or not great. Because if Saban wants to end it, he should go all out. And if that happens in 5 years, he should go all out. But if it's not going to end, and if he has Dino Charge coming in, so it really doesn't even really make sense right now. And yes, well, in Sentai they had this super great war, and that was awesome. I need to go see it. I need to go see it. I really need to go see it. But Sentai got away with it more because it's been around longer. You see what I'm saying? It's been around since '74, and Power Rangers came around and 20 years later in '93. So it's kind of like, well, 19, 20 years later. But at the same time, it's like, Sentai, of course, is going to do more things because they've been around longer. But only thing about Power Rangers that I hate, though, this is one thing that I'm going to say I hate, and I love using this word, I hate. And I just don't like how they don't come out with movies. It doesn't have to be a theatrical release. And I know they're coming out with a movie, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reboot, which I still kind of about it. I just think they should just make maybe Go Busters turn into a movie and just call that a movie and just don't, maybe make them a little series or something a little bit, I don't know. But a Mighty Morphin reboot, I don't know, because nothing can beat Ivan Ooze, and nobody can replace the old Rangers besides the old Rangers. Nobody can replace it. And Walter Emmanuel Jones, I would love to see him back in Power Rangers. Only thing I disagreed about Walter Emmanuel Jones, I just wish he would have came back and Power Rangers and hang on, let me see. Power Rangers One Say Ranger. Now I understand his situation. I'm not gonna go into it, but if you just go type in his name, he would tell you himself. And he could have came back in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. I 100% believe they should have came back alongside with Adam. I'm not saying Adam shouldn't have been in there. Adam needed to be in there. Like, it's a good promotion for him because that was a time when Bleach was really getting popular in 2007. Because it'd been a year already. It's been 2006 Bleach came out. In 2007 it was a year in, and Adam being in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive also gives him exposure. But Walter Emmanuel Jones should have been the Black Ranger in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, the original Black Ranger. Adam should have been Zeo Ranger 4. I think he should have been Zeo Ranger 4, like how Tommy in Forever Red was Zeo Ranger 5. So I do believe that Adam should have came back as Zeo Ranger 4, and Walter Emmanuel Jones, aka Zack, should have came back as the original Black Ranger of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, because it would have gave more. Everybody would have been like, oh my god. But they did what they did, and it would have been kind of cool. I'm sorry to say this, but it would have been kind of cool to see two black guys as Black Rangers. That would have been awesome. That would have been closed right. That would have been closed right there. That would have been closed. That would have been a closed story right there. Two black guys as two Black Rangers, because anybody remember that the black guy in Operation Overdrive was a Black Ranger. People talk about, oh, that's racist. No, it's not racist. I don't care. If they look, if I was a cast, if I was part of Power Rangers and they gave me, say, hey, Miss Dwayne, you're gonna be the Black Ranger, I wouldn't be arguing, because being the leader, you got way too much pressure anyway. So it's just kind of like loopy right there. What else I'm trying to talk about? Wow, this video is 19 minutes long. What else I want to talk about before I get off? Because it's 19 minutes in, so I got a lot to talk about. Anyway, I didn't get the chance to see Tokuja Ranger. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not saying that. And Kyor Uger. I didn't even get into that. I know that's Dino Charge. Go Busters, Go Kaiser, Go Sagers, and Shinken Jars was pretty cool. Shinken Jars was nothing but Power Ranger Samurai. I like Power Ranger Samurai. I think that was very solid, very stern. Power Rangers. I do believe that was very stern and solid. But I'm not gonna get into Decker too much because I don't think nobody paying attention to that. So anyway, oh, This is what I want to talk about. And if you didn't see Jetman, Chaojin Sentai Jetman, go check it out. Go check it out. That's pretty cool. That was actually the Power Rangers before Mighty Morphin. Um, ZU Rangers was ZU Rangers was Mighty Morphin, and Jetman was before it. But if you didn't see Jetman, check out Jetman. It's very laid back. It's not like, oh my god. It's very laid back. Just check it out anyway if you're really a hardcore Sentai or Power Ranger fan. This is what I want to talk about. Power Rangers in Space is what I want to talk about. Yeah, that's the one I want to talk about. Let me see which one it was. Now, I'm not against the title Megaforce. I'm really not. A lot of people is against Megaforce, but if anybody actually pay attention to Sentai, they do it a lot. They do Denji Sentai Mega Ranger was Power Rangers in Space. Had nothing to do with in space. It had nothing to do with in space. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when I read some plots, it had nothing to do with space. That was cool. And it was more about a video game. And it was pretty cool. And I don't think it had nothing to do with space. And I'm going to say I think because I didn't really see the whole show. I just seen clips and trailers, and they didn't look like they were outer space. They just looked like they was on planet Earth, unlike Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. But if it was, let me know. But if it wasn't, then Megaforce should have been completely different instead of being a complete dub. It should have just been different. It should have been the rules a little bit. And why I'm really harsh on Megaforce is because I just love everything about it because of the Ghost Sagers. They could have done so much stuff. They could have made Ghost Sagers could have been outer space. Not Ghost Sagers. Power Rangers Megaforce could have been outer space Rangers again. We haven't had that since In Space. I think they base should have been outer space, and just like the Justice League, or just like they did in Power Rangers in Space and Lost Galaxy. Well, not like Lost Galaxy. Lost Galaxy was more on Terra Venture, but anyway, um, Power Rangers in Space would have really held its own. Really held its own, and Megaforce would have really held its own. And it's very just upsetting that they didn't really go through on it with Megaforce. But I'm not really too harsh on it because it's got some good stuff in it. Megaforce have awesome. I love how they brought back a Zordon type. Um, Tensu. That was pretty cool. I hope they keep him around, but they don't know they won't. It would have been nice to keep him around for 4 seasons, just like they did with Zordon. Maybe this can be the Tensu era. Samurai not, and I can see Samurai not didn't do that is because Samurai was just Samurai. But we should be living in a Tensu era, just like how we lived in the Zordon era, live in a Tensu era. Will that work? Will it not work? I don't know. You just got to write it up and see if it makes sense or whatnot, and go from there. But I think Tensu should go on for 4 to 5 seasons, just like how they did with Mighty Morphin. But unlike how they did Mighty Morphin, how they never really completed a real mission, I mean like the final mission, they did in Zio. But King Mondo wasn't really defeated. He just kind of recuperated and came back in Turbo and came back in space. Uh, what else I've noticed in Mighty Morphin? Mighty Morphin, they got turned into kids and really never. They did destroy some of the villains, but they never destroyed Rita and Zed. They lived all the way until in space. Maybe that this new era they can just actually defeat the villain that they were going after. And after probably like good 5 seasons later, Tensu finally can retire and go on his way or do like Zordon did. But no, that's too cliche-ish. But it would be kind of cool to see Tensu last a little longer. Maybe they can change his appearance up a little bit every season. His appearance can keep changing, but not too much, but enough that it would be kind of cool. But that's just my opinion, and I will talk to you guys later. And that's it for today.